Have you ever known someone who was so sure of their own superiority, their own brilliance, that nothing could shake their confidence? Not even the most obvious flaws? Narcissists often have an inflated sense of self-importance, a desire for admiration, and a complete disregard for the feelings of others. They seem to float through life, convinced of their greatness, leaving destruction and hurt in their wake. But what if there is a force much greater than their self-perception, something beyond their control, that humbles them in ways they never? Well, that force is none other than God. In this video, we will dive into how God humbles every narcissist, in ways that often catch them off guard. It is a humbling that is inevitable, powerful, and ultimately transformative. Narcissists may feel untouchable, but there is a divine reckoning that is at play, a process of humbling that no one, no matter how arrogant, can escape. Let's take a closer look at how this humbling happens, and why it's often beyond a narcissist's understanding. Now, before we get deeper into how narcissists are humbled, if you find this topic intriguing, make sure to hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and share it with anyone who might find it insightful. Trust me, what we're going to explore in the next few minutes will be eye-opening. To begin, let's talk about the narcissist's perspective of the world. To them, they are the center of the universe. Everything revolves around their needs, their desires, their ego. This mentality is not just a personality trait, it's deeply ingrained in their worldview. The narcissist believes that their success, their charisma, and their accomplishments are the only things that matter. They love to be admired, and are constantly seeking validation. The problem, however, is that this worldview is fundamentally flawed. While it may appear that narcissists are untouchable, their belief in their invincibility often sets them up for a humbling experience. What's more, this humbling doesn't always happen immediately, and it doesn't always happen in the way we might. It can take years, even decades, for the narcissist to experience the humbling power of God. But one thing is certain, it will happen. The first way that God humbles a narcissist is through exposing their weaknesses. No matter how much they try to hide behind their facade of perfection, narcissists have flaws. The truth always has a way of coming to the surface, and God allows those flaws to be revealed. This is the first sign of humility for a narcissist, though they may not see it at first. They may fight the truth, try to manipulate others, or even deny it. But eventually, the cracks in their armor will show. As their weaknesses are exposed, the narcissist begins to feel vulnerable. They will experience shame, something they rarely feel, because their whole identity has been built around the idea that they are flawless. This shame can be a wake-up call, but it's also the beginning of their humbling process. For the narcissist, the realization that they are not perfect can be one of the most difficult experiences of their life. Another key way that God humbles narcissists is through the people around them. Narcissists tend to alienate others because they view relationships as transactional. They may surround themselves with people who flatter and praise them, but these relationships are shallow. Eventually, however, the people who were once in their orbit begin to fall away. Sometimes this happens because those people have had enough of being used, manipulated, or hurt. Other times, it happens because the narcissist's own actions, such as greed or betrayal, cause them to lose their support system. This loss of relationships is a powerful humbling experience. Narcissists often find that they are left alone at the very moment when they thought they were at their peak. They realize that their success and status mean little without the people who once supported them. It's a painful lesson, but it's an essential part of the humbling process. This loneliness is not just a temporary setback. It's a divine intervention that forces the narcissist to confront their behavior and reassess their life. But there is one humbling experience that no narcissist ever anticipates: the humbling of power and control. Narcissists often believe that they can control their destiny. They work tirelessly to manipulate situations in their favor, whether it's at work, in relationships, or in their personal life. But eventually, they come face to face with something they cannot control: the will of God. No matter how much a narcissist tries to steer their life in one direction, God has a way of intervening and redirecting them. This can manifest in many ways. It could be a sudden loss of a job or a career setback, a health crisis, or a personal failure that causes the narcissist to question their self-sufficiency. These moments can feel like the ground is shifting beneath their feet, and the sense of invincibility they once had crumbles. They come to realize that they are not as powerful as they thought. In these moments, the humbling power of God becomes undeniable. And here's the thing. Even in the midst of their humbling experiences, narcissists rarely recognize the divine force at play. They may blame their circumstances, the people around them, or even fate, but they seldom acknowledge that God is orchestrating this humbling process. This is where the real challenge lies. God humbles them in a way that they never see coming, because it's not just about what happens on the outside. It's about what happens on the inside. The narcissist's heart is being softened, their pride is being broken, and their ego is being shattered. This is the most profound humbling of all. The story of a narcissist does not have to end in ruin. While many narcissists may resist the humbling process, some eventually realize the consequences of their arrogance and self-centeredness. They come to understand that their behaviors have led them down a destructive path. This realization marks the beginning of their transformation. Through humility, they are able to rebuild their lives in a more authentic and grounded way. In doing so, they discover that true strength does not stem from self-importance, but from the grace and mercy of God. The journey of a narcissist's humbling is not a simple one. It is often accompanied by pain, loss, and struggle. However, it is a crucial process for growth and personal transformation. For those who resist the humbling power of God, the road ahead may be long and difficult. They may face numerous challenges before they are able to embrace change. On the other hand, for those who open themselves to humility, the reward is a life that is more fulfilling, enriched with meaning, and aligned with divine purpose. The process of humbling a narcissist is ultimately beyond human control. It is a divine intervention, offering a chance for growth, change, and redemption. This transformation might seem harsh or difficult at times, but it serves as a path toward healing. The humbling experience is a gift, leading to greater self-awareness and the opportunity for a more harmonious life. For those who accept it, the journey becomes a powerful testament to the transformative power of humility. At times, the narcissist's ego may feel impenetrable, and the path to change may seem impossible. But through divine grace, the humbling process can break through these barriers. The realization that one's actions have caused harm often triggers deep reflection, allowing the narcissist to reconnect with their authentic self. This is a crucial step in healing, as it allows them to step away from their false sense of superiority and embrace a more grounded and compassionate way of living. The road to transformation for a narcissist is not an easy one, but it is undeniably important. Through the struggle, they discover that true growth comes not from resisting humility, but from accepting it. As they work through their pain and challenges, they begin to develop a stronger connection with the divine and with others. This connection is what ultimately leads to personal fulfillment and a more meaningful life. In conclusion, the humbling of a narcissist is a complex and profound process that is guided by divine intervention. It is a journey that calls for personal reflection, growth, and ultimately redemption. Though it may be painful and difficult, the end result is a richer, more fulfilling life. As we reflect on this topic, it is important to recognize that the humbling process offers us all an opportunity to grow, learn, and heal in ways we may not have addition. Let us continue to embrace the lessons that life and God send our way,